Our American audience, more than 100 TV stations on the PBS network in the U.S. are carrying our CTV coverage tonight live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Also coverage going right around the world. In fact, there are some 10, 11 different originations broadcast, French and English, Czechoslovakian, of course, Soviet Union, going right around the world. And what a key game this is. Peter Mahovlich checked in the corner by Slutov, gets by him, and it's Alexander Gusev bumping with Steve Shutt. Shutt's up with it for Team Canada, and his shot just goes wide of the net. LaPointe's shot hits his skate in front, comes to the blue line, and finally cleared to center ice. Mahovlich is knocked down. The puck is taken by Gusev. He's checked by LaFleur, and now Alexandrov winds up. Stopped by Steve Shutt, who just clears it into the corner. We've played exactly 1 minute here in the opening period. No score. The Soviet Union on the attack with Duklov. Lutov over the line. A backhand pass to Alexandrov. And Vashon clears that out. Back comes Team Canada. LaPointe to Bobby Hull. Esposito in offside.
Team Canada is now in their third change. We've played roughly a minute and a half of the hockey game. Scotty Bowman changing the lines very, very quickly at the beginning of the period here. He got a little bit of a jump on the Soviet team by making 3 changes to their 2.
Alexandrov almost getting that pass in front. Face-off is back on the offside, of course, outside the Soviet blue line. Esposito, Marcel Dion, and Bobby Hull. Orr takes the puck from the face-off. He's on defense with Robinson. Robinson, a clearing pass for Dion. That's knocked down. Belasov, the Soviet Union broke up that play. Belasov watching Bobby Hull. Hull behind his own goal. Checked by Sportsov. Gets the puck to the blue line, but not out. Now Hull will try again to Marcel Dion on the right. His shot. And Tretiak steers that to the corner. Dion failed to get it behind the net, or racing after it with Belasov. Belasov takes a check, and the puck comes on this side all the way down the ice. Larry Robinson backboard. He's watched by Sportsov, but it's icing against the Soviet Union. No score in the opening period. We played exactly 2 minutes. Prime Minister Trudeau, one of the capacity crowd on hand tonight for this key game. Alan Eagleson on his right. And like all of Canada and hockey fans around the world, a very important game in the Canada Cup Series. Canada must win or tie tonight to advance to the final. The Soviet Union desperately needs a win if they are to advance to the final against Czechoslovakia. LaPointe shot hit a skate in front, deflects into the corner. LaPointe will get another crack at it when it comes outside the blue line. No score as Sittler backhands the puck to the Soviet line. It's back to Vasiliev. Vasiliev up to Kapustin, straight down the middle for the Soviets. On the left side, a shot right on goal, and Vashon stops that. Gives it to Dennis Potvin. Too far for Sittler. Vasiliev just clears the puck where Maltsev has it. Number 10 tries to get it back to Repniev. Still has it, his shot in front. And back comes Team Canada. Led by Potvin to center. A long pass on the right side. Laddie McDonald going in after it with Billy Letinov. In behind the goal, back to LaPointe. His shot knocked down. And here's the Soviet Union player, Maltsev dump. Goes after the puck on the right side. Right onto the stick of LaPointe. Darryl Sittler in over the line. Right in on goal. And he's taken out of the play nicely. As the Soviets now will try. Repniev, number 24 at his own blue line. Ahead to Maltsev. Maltsev's shot. Vashon stops that. Back in the corner as Gainey runs into his check. It's right back to Luchenko. He couldn't handle it. And now Vasiliev, number 6 of the Soviet Union. Playing without his helmet. He lost his helmet. It's beside the Soviet goal. Vikulov. His shot wide of the Team Canada goal, and it bounces up over the boards and out of play. Both teams are at full strength. Serge Savard inside his own blue line for Canada. Watched there by Slutov, gets away from him, clears it off the boards into the corner where Barber has it. Barber takes a check from Luchenko and falls. Bobby Clark, watched by Gusev. Here's Barber behind the net for Canada. Barber takes it to the side, gets that, a shot. Knocked down, another shot, and Leach fires that one wide. Leach gets it again in front of Barber, back to Orr. it in to Clark. Clark to Leach, the shot, and Tretiak stops that. Leach has it again for Canada. Hits the stick and high out of play on the far side. No score. We played 4 minutes and 10 seconds here in the opening period at Maple Leaf Gardens. There's no score between Team Canada and the Soviet Union. From the face-off, shortstop, and it's knocked down by Potvin. His backhand shot wide. Here's Mohavlich in front, and it's intercepted and cleared down the ice by Belousov of the Soviet Union. To center, but the point just turns around and steers it into the corner. The Soviet player has it. Babanov tries to get it ahead and hits the official. Steve shot right in front. It's shot. Stopped Peter Mohavlich from close range. Dennis Potvin has it bounce over his stick to center. Guy Lafleur to Lapointe. Lapointe at the side of his own net for Canada. No score. And we played 5 minutes of the opening period. Off the boards into the corner. And Vashon comes out of the net.
Well, Steve Shutt made a very nice play in the Soviet zone, taking the puck which had hit the official on the side, bounced back in front, and actually got a little bit of a fortunate bounce. Took his time, threw it off to Peter Mohavlich at the side, and Big Peter didn't have quite enough room to shove the puck by the Soviet goaltender. But a very good play by Steve Shutt, taking his time, making a good pass.
Bobby Hull right from the face-off, clears it, it's knocked down by Vasiliev. Hull gets to the game, but it's offside with both Dion and Esposito inside the blue line. The puck hit Vasiliev, and that's why Esposito and Dion had already made a motion to head inside the blue line. There's a look at Guy Lafleur at the bench. Esposito gets set for this draw against Repniev. Or at center, slaps it off the boards, in behind the Soviet goal. Vasiliev in after it. And the shot from behind the net is grabbed by Tretiak. As we played 5 minutes and 7 seconds in the opening period, and there's no score between the Soviet Union and Canada. The Soviets in the Canada Cup Series have won 2 games, lost 1 and tied 1. Canada has won 3 and lost 1. They're only lost 1-0 to Czechoslovakia. Esposito right from the draw. Front. Hall gets a slap at it, but can't get the shot away. Robinson to Orr. Orr at his home blue line, watched by Kapustin. Tries to beat a pass to Bobby Hull, and it's just steered back into the Team Canada corner. Robinson off the boards for Dion. Dion is checked. Esposito carries on. Esposito going in with Hull. Hull takes the pass. Just swiped at it and couldn't quite get a stick on it. Another shot in front of Vasiliev, and there'll be a penalty coming up to the Soviet Union as Bobby Hull was completely tied up as he tried to reach that pass from Esposito.
Well, Marcel Dion made a very good play when the Soviet defender pressed hard at the Team Canada blue line. He just tipped the puck outside the blue line. There we see Phil Esposito picking up, laying it across. Hull just can't quite get to it. He gets his stick out, is dumped by the Soviet player. It's not far enough ahead to get a good shot away, but he draws the 2-minute minor, and Team Canada will have their first advantage of the game.
Walsep in the penalty box for hooking at 5 minutes and 34 seconds. 5:34, the time of the penalty. A power play situation for Canada. Clark, Leach, and Barber. Potvin and Orr on defense. Puck is taken by the Soviet players, Luketov, and he just steers it back into the Canada zone. Or in their corner for it, watched by Vikulov, number 18. Behind his own net to Dennis Potvin. Canada on the power play situation. No score in the opening period. Potvin to Barber. Barber over the line to Bobby Clark. Clark, number 16, in front, and it's intercepted by Luketov. Luketov back for the Soviet Union, gives it to Vikulov. Vikulov checked by Orr, manages to get it behind the net, takes a jolt from Orr, but now it's Dennis Potvin. 1 minute and 18 seconds remaining in the penalty to Maltsev, and Team Canada. Bobby Orr will try again. Orr is watched by Vikulov. Up the right side, in over the Soviet line, Orr in front to Barber. He's turned around, control, and was knocked down. Luketov. And the fans here, of course, thinking there should have been a penalty there. 52 seconds remaining in the power play. Bobby Orr up the middle for Perreault. Hits his skate. Potvin holds it outside the blue line. Over to Perreault on the far side. Perreault coming back for Canada. In over the line. Here's Hull's shot. And a good defensive play by Luchenko as he got his stick on it. Potvin inside the line, right in front to Lafleur. Guy Lafleur, number 10, back to Potvin. His shot to score! Deflected in front by Perreault.
Here we have Guy Lafleur getting control, back to Potvin. He keeps that puck nice and low, and Gilbert Perreault tips it home for the first Canadian goal.
This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. A point on the right side for Lafleur. He's watched there. Knocked off into the corner by Krikyanov. And now number 19, Balderas, tried to get it out. He was stopped. Here's Steve Shutt right in front of the goal. And a good defensive play by Babanov. Babanov, number 4 for the Soviet Union. At his own blue line. He's out there with Krikyanov, number 16. Feeds a pass to Kovin. Kovin down the right side for the Soviets. Hit over the Canada line, right in front, and it hits player in front and deflects high and out of play.
Guy Lapointe making a very good play there. His timing was very good, dropping in front of that shot. The Soviet player waited, tried to get him to go down, but he was able to slide across and deflect that puck over the goal and out of play.
Earlier in the series, Canada scored on their first 4 power play advantages, but then they went 9 straight without scoring a power play goal, so that goal was their first power play in 10 opportunities. We played exactly 8 minutes here in the opening period. Canada won, the Soviet Union no score. Ilya Letunov, number 5, takes a check by Lanny McDonald. The puck comes to center ice. Repniev is tied up. And the Soviets will try again. Orr knocks Repniev down. And here's Maltsev. In over the Canada line. Checked by Sittler. Sittler ahead to Perreault on the far side for McDonald. Back to Sittler going in with Perreault. A shot. The rebound. It goes wide. As Perreault let that one fly. Vasiliev clears it out to Repniev. Stopped by Kapustin. He falls. Gets up again. Kapustin in over the line. Going in with Maltsev. It hits McDonald. And back comes Team Canada, led by Orr. Over to McDonald on the right side, checked by Billy Letunov, and they collide heavily. The Soviets up to Repniev. Orr keeps it in. Gets by Kapustin. Orr in front, falls, and the puck comes to this side. Robinson for Canada. He's watched by Repniev. Puts it right on the stick of Kapustin, and the Soviets at their own line to center. Kapustin's long shot. Vachon takes it high on the shoulder, and Orr has it at the side. 10 minutes and 42 seconds remain in the opening period. Canada won. The Soviets no score. Gusev and Reggie Leach are after the puck. Now Maltsev has it. Maltsev for the Soviets. In over the line. Checked by Barber, and that's cleared to the side by Vachon. Leach trying to get by Zlukta. Gets the pass to Barber. His long shot, and Vasiliev stopped it with his stick, and it went off into the corner. The Soviets with Gusev trying to get a pass out to Vikulev, intercepted by Lapointe. We played 9 minutes and 56 seconds here in the opening period. Back come the Soviets. Vikulev, long shot, and Vachon stops that. Potvin, watched by Alexandrov. Back comes Team Canada. 9 minutes and 50 seconds remain in the opening period. Potvin was stopped there by Luchenko. The Soviets come racing back. Alexandrov in over the line, fakes a shot, dumps it back. Here's Luchenko. His shot, and Vachon steps in the shot, score! On the backhand shot and the rebound, the Soviets tie it up.
Well, Zlukta made a very good play in the neutral zone, just deflecting the pass to Alexandrov to start it off. But here we have them going over the line. The original shot was stopped by Rogan Vachon, and the rebound was dropped by him to tie up the game for the Soviet Union.
This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. Back to Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. That scoring play, Vikulev from Alexandrov and Luchenko at 10:22, and it's a 1-1 tie. And back come the Soviets. Dvorsov just steers it into the corner, where Bobby Orr is back for it. 9 minutes and 27 seconds remain in the opening period. Bobby Hall to center, watched by Dvorsov, and he just dumps it in. Babanov stopped it, goes after the loose puck. Babanov Dumped it into the corner, and it's clear down the ice. Here's a chance for Valderas, but it's offside. A two-line pass coming from inside the Soviet blue line.
Well, here we have Alexandrov on the Soviet goal, moving over the line. He fakes one shot, drops it in the slot. Luchenko takes his time, goes wide. The original stop is stopped by Rogi Vachon, and actually Alexandrov was the one who put the rebound behind number 11.
And the time of that goal was 10:22 here of the opening period. They did announce Vikulov scoring the goal. Perhaps there'll be a change there because it did look like Alexandrov in front. 9 minutes and 4 seconds remain to be played in the opening period. Babanov off to an open wing, and going after it is Krikyanov. Soviet player falls at center, and it's Babanov inside his own blue line for the Soviets. A 1-1 tie. 8 minutes and 47 seconds remain to be played in the opening period. And into the corner for it is Krikyanov, the Soviet player right in front of his own goal. Out to Skvortsov, number 17, and Esposito breaks that up. But the Soviets carry on. Skvortsov in over the line, fakes a shot and is checked. Going in after it is Kovin. Back comes Canada. Bobby Hull with Marcel Leon. In over the line, Hull's shot. Tretiak stops that. And the Soviets break away again, led by Vasiliev. Vasiliev, pass on the left side. Valderas drops it back. It's intercepted by Marcel Leon. And Canada again. Esposito over the line. Babanov takes him out. And the Soviet player Vasiliev behind his own goal. A 1-1 tie, and Babanov to Kapustin at center. A feed pass for Repniev. Repniev fakes a shot, and he's hit hard by Denis Potvin. Into the corner, Savard along with Maltsev. Savard gets the puck over to Steve Shutt, number 22. Shutt with 7 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the opening period to Lafleur. Lafleur shot hits the side of the net. Lafleur takes a stiff check from Vasiliev. Mahavlich keeps it in, watched by Kapustin. Broken up by Maltsev. Maltsev for the Soviets. A pass to Kapustin, back to Maltsev, and he has trouble with the bouncing puck as they go end to end. Here in the opening period, Lafleur to Shutt. Shutt over the line is checked by Vasiliev. Vasiliev right in front, and Repniev had trouble with that. Here's Peter Mahavlich. His shot, and then hits a skate and goes wide. Billy Letinov cleared it right to Guy Lafleur. Lafleur gets a shot, stopped in front, and back come the Soviets. Maltsev, number 10, down the right wing side. He has Alexandrov breaking, but he's turned around. There will be a penalty to Denis Potvin as Repniev carries on. Repniev behind the net, gets it back to the line. There's a shot, deflected in front. Soviets get it again, and with Canada touching the puck, there's a hooking penalty coming up to Denis Potvin. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. Back to Maple Leaf Gardens, and Canada a man short. Potvin off for hooking at 13-16, and there you see the penalty. So Canada a man short here, and shots on goal up to this point. Canada has outshot the Soviets 10-9, but shots at the goal, Canada has had 20 chances, while the Soviets have had 13 to this point. So Potvin in the penalty box, the Soviets on the power play. It's a 1-1 tie. Luchenko behind his own goal to Gusev. Vikulov takes the pass to Alexandrov on the left. Alexandrov overskates it, but gets it in front. Vikulov shot, and Rogi Vachon got it on his glove hand and deflected it. Barber is turned around. Slukov to Vikulov. He's checked, and it's cleared down the ice by Team Canada. 1 minute and 23 seconds remaining in the penalty to Potvin as Gusev has it to Vikulov. Vikulov down the right wing side over the Canada blue line. Skates in front of the goal, tries to get it over to Gusev, gets it again off the stick of Clark, right in front, and Slukov fanned on his shot. Evgeny checks Luchenko, and the Soviets are forced to go back. Luchenko at his own blue line. Just dumps it into number 2, that's Alexander Gusev, and the Soviets racing back. Alexandrov drops it to Zlukov. Zlukov, number 22, Alexandrov gets the return pass, tries to get it to Luchenko, and it's Daryl Sittler. Sittler back for Canada. In over the line, a bouncing shot, and Tretiak stops that. LaPointe, number 5, tries to get it in front, intercepted by Luchenko, with 30 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Potvin. The Soviets on the power play. Kovin clears it to Alexandrov. Savard stops him and clears it back to the blue line with 18 seconds remaining in Potvin's penalty. A 1-1 tie. We're in the opening period. Krikyanov feeds it ahead to Kovin on this side for Skvortsov. Skvortsov, number 17, back to Bobanov. His shot deflected wide. With 1 second remaining in Potvin's penalty, both teams are now back at full strength. Darryl Sittler down the ice it goes, and it'll be icing against Team Canada. Other games today, of course, seen earlier on CTV. Sweden defeating Czechoslovakia 2-1. Borja Solving scored both goals for Sweden in that game. And the United States defeated Finland this afternoon 6-3 in Montreal. Robbie Fatorik had 2 goals as the United States won their first game of the Canada Cup competition. Czechoslovakia, although they lost today, are in first place with 7 points at this point. Canada in second with 6, and the Soviet Union tied with Sweden with 5 points apiece. 4 minutes and 26 seconds remain to be played in the opening period. It's a 1-1 tie. Canada at center. Shutt just dumps it in. Back for it. Krikyanov checked by Guy Lafleur. Lafleur then runs into Balderas, but Savard keeps it in. In behind the net for Peter Mohavlich. Right in front. Shot couldn't get a hold of it. Back come the Soviets. Skvortsov, number 17, down the left side. In over the Canada line. Gets by Savard. Gets it in front. And number 12, Kovin, was hit hard. He's hurt. Kovin is on the ice. Here's a shot by Lafleur. It goes wide. Kovin is still on the ice as he took quite a jolt in the Team Canada zone. Now he gets up. Play is in the Soviet zone. Number 16, Krikyanov, lost it. Here's a chance for Mohavlich. Back to Lafleur. A shot. Shutt gets a shot. Oh, and what a stop by Tretiak. He just reached out with Steve Shutt trying to pack it home.
Well, that was just a great save by Tretiak, but Shutt let up a little bit. He had him at his mercy. If he works a little harder, puts that puck up, it's a goal. Here we have it off the side of the net. Lafleur in his backhand. The puck is laying there just a little harder, although Babanov had the lumber on Shutt. He gets the puck just a little over his stick. It's the second Team Canada goal, but he couldn't get it up.
1-1 tie with 3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the opening period. From the draw, it comes back to the point. Here's a chance for Potvin, and Tretiak loves that. Soviet goal scored by Vikulov. That's how they've announced it here at Maple Leaf Gardens. That goal at 10:22. And Perreault has scored for Canada. Perreault is a power play goal. LaPointe just clears it into the corner into the Soviet zone. Bobby Hull's after it. His shot just went whistling by the goal. The Soviet player is dumped by Hull. Here's Perreault. Oh, that shot hit the post. But not outside the blue line. Hull lets it go. Perreault in front. Back to Potvin. Into the corner to Perreault. The Hull scores!
Gilbert Perreault put that puck. Here we have Potvin back into Perreault. Out to Bobby Hull in the slot. And what Bobby does very, very well, shoots the puck all in one motion. Great goal, great play by Perreault.
And Canada leads 2-1. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. 2 minutes and 34 seconds remain. Here in the opening period, the puck goes all the way down the ice, and Team Canada called for icing.
Well, Team Canada are using the boards to their advantage. The Soviets are not quite used to the smaller rinks. That is 200 by 85. They're used to a little more width, and their boards are not usually as lively. And Team Canada, here we have Bobby Hull's shot on the goal, shooting all in one motion, beating Tretiak. But Perreault set it up by putting it in the slot. But Team Canada is taking advantage of the boards, moving the puck around the boards, trapping it, keeping possession in the Soviet zone.
Only the third icing call here in the opening period, and both against Canada. Leach slaps it off the boards to center. Clark goes after it. Luchenko beats him. Gusev to Luchenko in front of his own net with Clark right there. Leach off the boards to center, and Luchenko has it at his own blue line. 1 minute and 38 seconds remain in the opening period. Vikulov for the Soviet Union. Up ahead to Kovin, going in with Alexandrov. Kovin's shot. And Vashon got a piece of that as it goes behind the net. Ford takes Koveen into the boards heavily. Soviets get it back to the point. Here's Gusev's shot, and that's wide. Alexandrov at the side in front. Koveen can't handle it, and Gainey comes back. Gainey for Canada. Sittler on the far side with Lanny McDonald. A shot. Kretschak stops it. McDonald into the corner, takes an elbow high from Koveen. Now Sittler runs into his check. Babanov, number 4. Exactly 1 minute remaining in the opening period. Sittler runs into Alexandrov. And backboard, Skvortsov up to the line, checked by Bob Gainey as they go end-to-end again. Oh, LaPointe takes Koveen into the boards and he falls. 42 seconds and a hard-hitting, wide-open first period. Bob Gainey down the left side, squeezed out of the play by Babanov. Skvortsov, number 17, as the Soviets try to come back. Up to their own blue line, led by Balderas. Balderas over the Team Canada line, a shot, and Vachon steers that with his glove. 22 seconds remaining. Potvin run into his check. And Canada, led by Potvin, up to his own blue line. Clears it ahead to LaPointe. LaFleur right in, a shot. Kretschak stops that. 8 seconds remaining in the opening period. LaFleur gets it again at center. Loftus Luketov with 2 seconds, his shot. And LaPointe stops that as the bell goes to end the first period, Tom. And what an exciting first 20 minutes of play.
They were going end-to-end at the end, and I can tell you the fans really loved the fast play, and they loved the hard hitting. Team Canada's defense are playing the body very, very well in their own zone, moving the Soviets off the puck and then moving it quickly out of their end. But it's a fast, hard-hitting hockey game.
Well, it's Canada 2 and the Soviets 1. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. Right now, as the second period's underway, we've played 10 seconds, and Bobby Orr, with Canada leading 2-1, gives it to Savard. Savard up the middle for Team Canada to the center ice line, going in with Leach. Leach gets it caught up in his skates, and it's intercepted by the Soviets. They can't get it out. Bobby Clark keeps it in. Clark, number 16, right onto the stick of Vasiliev, who feeds a pass to the Soviet player coming down, is upset, Repniev, and no penalty, and the puck is steered down the ice again. Backboard is Billy Letinov, and it's icing against the Team Canada.
Well, the whole Soviet bench were up on their feet there, really upset when Repniev broke between the Team Canada defensemen, and well, Bobby Orr got a little bit of him with the stick, and they felt there should have been a penalty there, but the official didn't think so, and it continues. Repniev lay down for quite some time in the far corner, looking up at the official saying, hey, what's going on?
They played 38 seconds in the second period. Canada 2 and the Soviets 1. Both teams are at full strength. Alexandrov on the side to Gusev. He slaps at it, just clears it over the line, and it's taken now by Dennis Potvin of Canada. Up the middle with Peter Mahavlich. Mahavlich couldn't reach it. Inside the line on a delayed offside as Alexandrov and Dennis Potvin start to exchange a few words at the center ice area. Dennis Potvin, of course, member of the New York Islanders. Alexandrov, the 21-year-old forward of the Soviet Union. Last year, he had 35 goals for the Soviet national team, including international competition. Off the boards and down the ice it goes. Kretschak out of the net. Gusev tried to get it, and the Canadian player Guy Lafleur sails into the boards as the Soviets come back. Led by Luketov. Luketov around the net, and his shot goes wide. Gusev deep for the Soviets, slaps it off Dennis Potvin's stick. LaPointe is tied up. Alexandrov clears it to Luketov, a shot, and Vachon stops that. Back comes deep shot of Canada. Shot a long pass for Lafleur. Lafleur goes after it, gets by Gusev, but it's icing against Team Canada. Lafleur reached for it, but couldn't touch it.
Well, Team Canada claiming it touched the glove of the Soviet player, and therefore it shouldn't be called back on the icing, and they're arguing quite vociferously here, and I thought that it did go off the glove of the Soviet defender when he wasn't able, Gusev wasn't able to control it, and therefore Guy Lafleur should have been onside.
Goal scorers for Team Canada, Gilbert Perrault and Bobby Hull. It's Canada 2 and the Soviets 1. Koveen at center for the Soviets with Skvortsov, number 17, and Balderas, number 19. And for Team Canada, they send out Phil Esposito with Darryl Sittler and Lanny McDonald. Lapointe and Bobby Orr on defense. Rukhanov and Bobanov, the defensive pair for the Soviet Union. Orr behind his own goal for Canada. Watched there by Skvortsov. Gets it back into the opposite corner, and Canada tries to get it out. Esposito slaps at it, and it goes back to the Soviet line where Bobanov, right in front of his own goal. Watched by Sittler, gets it ahead, and the Soviets come back. And with the puck now, Skvortsov on the left side. In over the line, a shot, and Vachon stops that. Canada with Savard just clearing it down the ice, all the way back into the Soviet zone. Bobanov back for it, watched by Esposito. Gets by him, out ahead to Balderas. Balderas over on the right side, and Skvortsov gets by Savard, in behind the net. Takes a check for more. The Soviets still have it right in front, and Savard breaks up that play. Back come Team Canada. Up to center ice. Orr over the opposing line. Takes a check from Colbean, and the puck is taken by Balderas. Balderas in front of his own net. That pass for Krikyanov. Out to Skvortsov, and back comes Colbean. A race for it. Bobby Orr beats him to the puck. Takes a check and an elbow. Esposito goes in to help out. Balderas right in front, and it's intercepted by Lanny McDonald. McDonald back with Sittler, taking the pass on the left. Drop pass for McDonald, a shot. Jack. What a stop by the veteran goaltender. That's his first shot here in the second period.
Well, Darryl Sittler made a very good play, broke over the line. It was a 3-on-2 situation. Lanny McDonald moved back into the slot. Here we have the earlier play into the corner here where Team Canada maintained the puck, and Bobby Orr took a little bit of an elbow here, folks.
From the draw, Lapointe shot goes wide as it hits someone in front. Gilbert Perrault to Bobby Hull. Hull lets it go. And now it's Dennis Potvin. Potvin with Billy Letinov. Puck is knocked down, Perrault, and he in turn is stopped. But Bobby Hull comes up with it, then he lost it to Billy Letinov. Ahead to Alexander Maltsev. Maltsev, number 10, in over the line for the Soviets. Potvin knocks him to the ice, and it'll be a penalty. There's a shot, and it's intercepted right from shot by Lapointe. And Canada again will play a man short. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV.
Well, here we have Maltsev breaking over the line. It had to be a hook. Denny Potvin got a stick right across his front, pulled him down. There's no question about the penalty on the play. Canada 2 minutes short. Denny Potvin.
Time of the penalty, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. The second penalty of the game to Dennis Potvin. There have been 3 minor penalties in the game, 2 to Team Canada, and both to Dennis Potvin. It's Canada 2 and the Soviets 1. 1 minute and 43 seconds remaining in the penalty to Potvin. Kapustin, watched by Bobby Clark. Forced to go back to the side of his own net, then comes in front again. Kapustin, number 8, a long pass on the right side. Maltsev takes it, tries to return it to Kapustin, and Bobby Clark is there to intercept. Clark ahead to Barber. Barber, number 17, watched by Gusev, and Gusev takes it away from him. Soviets will try again. Kapustin. Back to Vasiliev. Vasiliev, number 6, ahead to Maltsev, and Barber again is there and feeds it up on the left side to Darryl Sittler, who in turn just clears it off the boards. 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining in the penalty to Dennis Potvin. The Soviets on the power play. Vasiliev to Gusev. In over the line, too far for him, and it's cleared down the ice by Guy Lapointe. Tretiak out of the net. Watched by Bob Gainey, gets it to Gusev. Gainey gets it again, gives it in front, and Gainey just couldn't get it over as he tried to set up Darryl Sittler. Gainey at his own line, all the way down the ice again, as Team Canada doing a good job on this shorthanded situation. Potvin has 31 seconds remaining in his penalty. Back with the Soviets, Alexandrov, right in front, a shot, and that stopped as Lutov let it fly. Vasiliev tries to keep it in, and Maltsev is knocked down. Here's a chance for Savard. Savard shot, and Tretiak stops it. The rebound is knocked loose, and the Soviets come back. 10 seconds remaining in the penalty to Potvin. Long pass to Maltsev. Maltsev breaking in front, gets the puck again, and is taken into the corner. Both teams back at full strength. Into the corner. There's a chance, and it just goes wide. Team Canada with Potvin letting it go all the way down the ice into the Soviet zone. Bobanov in front of his own net to Vasiliev. The Soviets trailing the game 2-1. Babanov up the middle for the Soviet Union, going in with Alexandrov. Drops it back. Here's a chance for Alexandrov. Number 11 clears it outside the line. And Babanov back to center ice, takes a stiff check from Bob Gainey and is knocked to the ice. Zlutov, number 22, inside his own line to Alexandrov. And here comes Canada. Shot in over the blue line, into the corner. Shot right in front of the goal for Guy Lafleur, and he had trouble with it. He falls, and Babanov comes back for the Soviets. 13 minutes and 45 seconds remain in the second period. It's Canada 2 and the Soviet Union 1. Larry Robinson returns it to Potvin. Here's Dion. His shot goes wide. Robinson keeps it in. He's checked. Puck kept in by Bobby Hull. Hull at the side, a shot, and it goes wide of the Soviet goal and all the way back into the Team Canada zone. Potvin's after it. Potvin watched on the play by Alexandrov, gets it to Bobby Hull. Hull just clears it outside the line. And there to get it is Krikianov, backhanding it into the Canada zone where Gilbert Perreault winds up for Canada. Perreault at center. Over the line with Dion, takes it into the corner, watched by Krikianov. Now Krikianov of the Soviet Union comes up with it. Right in front, Balderas over to Kovin and Bobby Hull. Circling at center for Canada. Drops it back into his own zone to Larry Robinson, who in turn gives it back to Hull. Canada on the attack. Dion on the left side takes the pass. In over the line, a backhand shot, and that's off the target. Gilbert Perreault knocked it outside the blue line, and Canada forced to come back onside. Lapointe, a high shot off into the corner. Luchenko, he's checked by Marcel Dion. Into the Soviet zone. He's tied up. In there to help out is Kovin, and they're trying to get a face-off, and they succeed. It's Canada 2 and the Soviets 1. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. Back to Maple Leaf Gardens. We played 7 minutes and 40 seconds here in the second period. Canada 2 and the Soviets 1. Both teams are at full strength. The face-off to the right of Vladislav Tretiak. And from the draw out there, Repniev. He lost it, and the shot is stopped by Tretiak. Vasiliev. He's watched there by number 17, Bill Barber. Vasiliev to Kapustin. Kapustin watched by Leach. Backhands the pass, and it's knocked down by Repniev and intercepted by Barber. Barber, in turn, lost it to Billy Letinov and the Soviets, with Billy Letinov combining with Maltsev. Up on the right side goes Kapustin. Kapustin in over the line, watched by Savard, gets by him, and lets that shot fire right through the crease. Bobby Clark takes a check from Billy Letinov. Leach collides with the linesman. Here come the Soviets, led by Maltsev. Maltsev, watched by Savard, takes it behind the net, right in front, a shot. Oh, and Kapustin was knocked flat. Barber ahead to Leach. Leach at center for Canada. Long pass intended for Lapointe, right in, a shot, and Tretiak stopped that as they again go end to end.
Well, we've had very few stoppages in the play. The teams are moving the puck quickly. The Soviets throwing those long passes out of their own zone. Team Canada taking very good advantage, throwing the puck around. Here we have Reggie Leach throwing the puck ahead. Guy Lapointe made a very good play. The Soviet defense a little lax, picking it up, moving in on Tretiak. Tretiak stopping it and holding it for one of the few face-offs that we've had.
And we played 8 minutes and 37 seconds. Fast skating, hard hitting game here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Canada desperately needs a win or a tie to advance to the Canada Cup final against Czechoslovakia. The opening game of that series will be Monday night here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. The Soviet Union must win this game tonight to advance to the final against Czechoslovakia. Right from the draw, the puck goes wide of the Soviet goal. Lanny McDonald clears it off the boards to Daryl Sittler. Sittler's pass stopped by Luchenko, but Esposito gets a crack at it. Esposito, watched by Zlutov, manages to clear it to an open wing. Lanny McDonald after it to Esposito, right in front of the goal. Back to Robinson, his shot, and Tretiak juggled that, but stopped it. Alexandrov, back come the Soviets. Bobby Orr has his player checked, and that's number 22, Zlutov. Lanny McDonald slaps it off the boards around behind the Soviet goal. Esposito and Luchenko. Here's Sittler behind the net. Sittler in front. Oh, shot! Oh, Tretiak! What a save by Vladislav Tretiak. Point blank from Bobby Orr.
Well, Sittler behind the net. Took his time. Here he is gaining possession of the puck. Bobby Orr moves right into the slot. The pass is right on his stick. Tretiak makes a very good stop, but we hadn't seen Orr for a while. He had to go off the ice to get his skate sharpened. Here we see it again. Throws it into the slot. Bobby Orr moving in quickly. Good stop by Tretiak. That could have been a very important goal. Had Canada gone up 3-1, that would give them that cushion that they would need to come out of this game with at least the tie.
Ladislav Tretiak, who has played in 4 previous games for the Soviet Union, at his best right there, stopping another great all-star performer, Bobby Orr. Tretiak has given up 13 goals up to this point in the series. The point shot hits a skate in front. It's Canada 2 and the Soviet Union 1. Potvin reached for it, couldn't get to it, and Canada clears it right back in. The Soviets, led by Krikyanov, to center to Kovin. He's checked by Potvin and knocked down. Krikyanov, number 16, at his own line for the Soviet Union. Krikyanov gets by Guy Lafleur, winds up his shot, deflected high and out of play. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. Played 9 minutes and 49 seconds here in the second period. The face-off in the Team Canada zone. Kovin taking the draw against Peter Mohavlich, and the puck is cleared all the way back to the Soviet zone. Bobanov, watched by Guy Lafleur. Bobanov, number 4, a long pass to Balderas. Balderas going in with Kovin, drops it back. Kovin has it. Here's a shot, and that's stopped by Denis Potvin, as number 21, Lebedev, was set up perfectly in front.
Well, Yuri Lebedev got on the ice for the first time. Skvortsov has been hurt. He had a knee injury. He got on for the first time. Balderas made a very good move, moving in rather quickly. Here he is taking the pass, moving inside, drops the puck. Kovin takes the shot, or drops it into the slot. Lebedev took the quick shot, and it's stopped by Denny Potvin, killing the puck just in front of the crease.
So the shots on goal up to this point, Canada has outshot the Soviets. Now 6-5 here in the second period. Canada leading by a score of 2-1. 9 minutes and 47 seconds remain to be played. A loose puck in front, and it's taken by Team Canada. Head to Marcel Dion, knocked down. Here's Kapustin in over the line. His shot high and just missed the target. Comes out to center ice for Vasilia. Vasilia from the Soviet Union, checked by Bobby Hull. Hull steals the puck, gives it to Dion, but he couldn't handle it. Goes back to center ice. Dion, watched by number 24, Repniev, cleared into the corner, and backboard is Billy Letnoff. 9 minutes and 10 seconds remain to be played in the second period. Hull has it at center for Canada. Leaves it for Bobby Orr. Back to Hull. Hull coming over the line to Gilbert Perrault. Gets through the defense. Right in on goal. Shot. Oh, and it goes wide. And what a move by Gilbert Perrault. Bobby Hull in the corner. Back for Perrault. Watched by Vasiliev. Dion checks Vasiliev. Now players collide. It's cleared in front though, and Kapustin for the Soviets. Inside his own line, a lead pass. Back comes the Soviet Union. Back to Kapustin. His shot. Oh, and what a check he takes as Hull and Bobby Orr collide. Billy Letnoff with 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Here's a chance. Oh, and Orr cleared that as the Soviet player had a golden opportunity. Bobby Hull clears it down the ice. And going back for it, Billy Letnoff, and they wave off the icing. 8 minutes and 15 seconds remain in the second period. Canada 2, the Soviets 1. Maltsev, number 10, coming back for the Soviets. Runs into Barber, and Reg Leach just slaps it in a backhand out to center. They go end to end here as the Soviet Union trailing 2-1. Race for it on the right side. Zlukov is checked by Barber. Puck loose at center. And the Soviets will try again. This is Alexandrov. Runs into Potvin, is knocked down. And Vasiliev. Ahead to Mikulov. Mikulov for the Soviet Union, watched by Bobby Clark. Just clears it off the boards into the Canada zone. Vachon out of the net. Leach takes it on the right wing side. Clears it, no one there. And back for it is Vladimir Luchenko. Luchenko with 7 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the second period. Barber intercept. Barber in front of the net. Tries to clear it, but Gusev knocked it off his stick. Clark gets a shot wide. Leach runs into Luchenko. Comes up with the puck right in front. Clark gets a swipe at it, and Zlukov got there just before he did. Leach has it. Shot from the side. Loose puck in front. And it's cleared off the boards. Lukhtov, number 22 of the Soviets. Going in with Alexandrov. Gives it to Vikulov. Vikulov drop pass for Gusev. Too far for him. Alexandrov runs into Leach and takes a jolt. Back comes Team Canada. Sittler racing after the puck with Luchenko. Off the boards. Esposito. He's beaten to the puck by Lukhtov. And back come the Soviets. Vikulov with Alexandrov. Vikulov, number 18 on the side. Checked by Guy Lapointe and Esposito. Has the puck now for Canada. 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Vikulov tries to set it in front. And Dennis Potvin's there to intercept and clear it down the ice. And it's icing against Team Canada. It's Canada 2, the Soviets 1. And this is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. From the draw comes back to Krikyanov. His shot, and it's off the target. Daryl Sittler on the left side. He's checked by Bobanov. The Soviets have it. Bobanov lost it to Esposito momentarily, but the Soviets come up with it. Bobanov, number 4. He has trouble with it. Esposito coming back with Sittler. Sittler in over the line. Watched by Krikyanov. Passes it in front, and Esposito reaches for it, and he has trouble controlling it as Lebedev has him tied up. Lebedev in front to Bobanov. Bobanov of the Soviets. A lead pass for Kovin. Kovin in over the Canada line. Drops it back to Balderas. Esposito got it momentarily. He's checked by Lebedev. Given an elbow. Esposito. Delaney McDonald. McDonald on the right wing side. Going in with Robinson. Clears it off the board. Sittler lets it go. Gets it again. Sittler at the side. Checked there by Lebedev. And it's in behind the net. Krikyanov and McDonald. Krikyanov of the Soviet Union dumps it back to Kovin, number 12. Vladimir Kovin winding up for the Soviets with 5 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the second period. On the right side, Lebedev. Lebedev into the corner, a pass in front, back to the line. Bobanov shoots, and Bobby Orr stops that. Bobanov keeps it in. Vladdy McDonald comes up with it. McDonald long pass to Peter Mohavlich. Mohavlich in on goal. It goes wide. As Mohavlich's backhand shot was off the net. Out for Balderas. In over the line, right in on goal. Vashon got a piece of that as they go end to end. And what exciting action here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Off the glass, Vasiliev keeps it in. The Soviets try again. LaFleur gets a swipe at it to Mohavlich. 4 minutes and 30 seconds remain in the second period. Canada 2, the Soviets 1. Mohavlich going in the side of the goal. Watched there by Billy Letinoff. Puck goes loose into the corner. Alexander Maltsev. There's it to Kapustin. He's checked by Guy Lafleur. Lafleur and Vasiliev. Kapustin. Ahead now for Repniev. Too far for him, but it's carried on by Billy Letinoff at his own line to Maltsev. Maltsev in all alone for the Soviets. Drops it back. Bobby Hull cleared it outside the line. Inside, offside. Boy, that puck is moving around.
Well, Team Canada, unfortunately, were caught there on the breakaway by Balderas. They were trying to check. Here we have Mohavlich's move. Breaks in quickly. His little backhand just went wide. Then we came right to end-to-end action. Here we have Balderas. Team Canada got caught in the change. Rogie Vachon coming out quickly. Just had the puck tip off the edge of a stick and go into the corner. But it's very tough for Team Canada to change on the fly in the second period, especially for that right defenseman. He has a long way to come from his own bench, and they got caught in the middle of the change, almost cost them a goal.
Right from the face-off, Maltsev lets it go, and Vachon is there to make the stop. 3 minutes and 54 seconds remain to be played in the second period, and they're going to have some difficulty in picking stars in this game. The committee, organized, of course, to select the outstanding players in each game for the Carling O'Keefe Award, the Eskimo carvings. They'll be presented to the top player on each team following tonight's game. From the draw, Canada at their own zone. They lead the game by a score of 2-1. They leave it there for Bobby Hull. Hull at his own line, going in with Perreault. Perreault takes the pass in over the line with Marcel Dion. Right in on goal. A pass in front. Dion slaps at it. And it's taken back by the Soviets. Led by Alexandrov. Alexandrov tries to get it over to Zluktov. Too far for him. And Bobby Orr in front of his own goal. Decides to go back into the corner. Up to Dion. He can't get it out. Orr will try again. Watched by the Soviet player. Slaps it off the boards and out to center ice where Gusev forced to go back for it. 29-year-old Alexander Gusev checked by Bobby Hull, a delayed offside as Dion was caught inside the blue line, and the face-off will be outside the Soviet blue line.
Actually, that's one of the few offsides, the few stoppages of play we've had in the third period. Very few infractions or penalties. The puck has just moved from end to end at tremendous pace. The referees might have they could have really put their whistles in their pockets because there haven't been many stoppages, very few infractions, and there have been hard-hitting checks, but not excessive rough play.
There have only been 6 offsides in the entire game. 3 minutes remaining here in the second period. It's Canada 2 and the Soviets 1. Bobby Clark checked by Gusev. Gusev of the Soviets ahead to Alexandrov, who takes the pass at center. Going in with Vikulov, has it knocked off his stick, and Bobby Clark for Team Canada. Up to center ice, a long shot wide off the target. 2 minutes and 38 seconds remain to be played. In behind the Soviet goal, Clark right in front, Barber's shot, and Gusev stopped that. Clark will try again, gets it back to Lapointe, he lets it go, scores! Deflected in front by Bill Barber.
Well, here we have the puck in the corner. It comes back to Lapointe. He shoots quickly. Bill Barber is left all by himself. There's no Soviet defenseman trying to tie him up or a stick, and he's able to tap the puck by Tretiak, but nobody covered him.
Canada 3 and the Soviets 1. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. Well, the goal was scored by Bill Barber at 17:33 here of the second period. That was Lapointe that took the shot, but the official scorer says Clark and Leach were given assists, and that obviously has to change because we all saw for ourselves Lapointe did take the shot. It's Canada 3 and the Soviets 1. 2 minutes and 14 seconds remain to be played in the second period. Puck inside the Team Canada line. After it is Koveen, and Bob Gainey just clears it down the ice. Back for it is Krikinov. Krikinov of the Soviets to the Canada line, watched by Sittler, or stops it. Sittler just slaps it down the ice again, and it'll go back into the corner where it's icing against Team Canada.
Well, here we have Scotty Bowman. When the third goal was scored, he's changed up the lines a little bit. He has Bob Gainey out there. He had been just having him in a penalty-killing role tonight, but he wants that extra defensive strength out there, wants to go into that room with the 3-1 lead.
And Bobby Crom of the Winnipeg Jets with the headset on there, working along with the other coaches on Team Canada, of course, Don Cherry of the Boston Bruins and Al McNeil of the Nova Scotia Voyageurs. Both teams are at full strength in the second period here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Bobanoff backboard has it at his own blue line for the Soviets. Gives it to Krikinov, number 16. Balderas at center. Tried to get the pass, but Bobby Orr was knocked down, and here's Sittler. Sittler to Gainey. Gainey at the side gets a shot, and that's way wide of the Soviet goal. 1 minute and 28 seconds remain to be played in the second period. Sittler behind the Soviet net. Watched by Koveen. Still has it. Sittler, number 27. And Koveen. Finally knocked loose. Bob Gainey goes in to help out. He's knocked down. Here's Sittler behind the goal right in front. Back to Orr, and Orr can't handle it. The Soviets come back with number 21, Lebedev overskated it. Koveen carries on. Koveen drops it back to Balderas. He lost his glove. Daryl Sittler out to center, takes a check from Bobanoff, and his stick hit Bobanoff, and Bobanoff is hurt as it starts to get rough. Sittler and two players, Koveen, start to swing, and the officials are there quickly to break it up.
Well, that's the first sign of really rough play that we've seen. Daryl Sittler moving in there with Koveen against the boards in front of Team Canada bench, both getting their sticks high. Maybe it was something that happened here at this play. Here we have the elbow that Babinoff, it looked a little bit of an elbow into Sittler. I guess he was a little upset by that, and then came right back against Koveen, against the boards. Here we have the sticks getting up high, everybody moving in, Bobby Orr coming in late, the officials coming in, cooling things out, getting people back to order.
Well, Koveen and Sittler get the penalties, and Bobanoff, who took an elbow in the face, was lying on the ice, and then he looked up and saw the fight, and he just hopped to his feet and went to join in. Here's the announcement on the penalties.
And to Team Canada, number 27, Darryl Sittler, 2 minutes each for roughing at 19 minutes 9 seconds.
All set now for the face-off. Bobby Clark will take the draw against Yuri Repniev, number 24 of the Soviet Union. And the action is underway. Back to Dennis Potvin at his own blue line. Out to Bobby Clark at center. Going in with Barber. Barber racing into the corner with Billy Letinov. Barber takes a jolt but goes after the puck. And Vasiliev is there for the Soviets. Vasiliev, long pass to Maltsev. Potvin got a piece of him, but Maltsev saw him coming. Back comes Barber on the left side. Clark breaking for the goal. Tretiak loves it with Bobby Clark right at his doorstep.
Well, Dennis Potvin is playing his most aggressive game to date. He's picked up a few penalties. We take a look at him now, but he moved in there quickly, and Alexander Maltsev just was able to get his head up at the right time to avoid a crash and check. Potvin was still able to get a piece of him, but Denny Potvin playing a very, very aggressive hockey game tonight for Team Canada.
And with 25 seconds remaining in the second period, the face-off to the right of goaltender Vladislav Tretiak. The backup goaltender tonight for the Soviet Union is Zinger. The backup goaltender for Team Canada is Jerry Cheevers. Clark will take this face-off again against Yuri Repniev. Repniev, a member of the wings of the Soviet. Barber gets his shot, and Tretiak had trouble with it but made the stop. Down the ice it goes. Serge Savard, number 18, with 15 seconds remaining. Savard behind his own goal. He's out there with Bobby Orr. Leaves it for Barber. 8 seconds remaining. And Team Canada coming to their own line with 3 seconds. Savard to Clark. Clark over the line. And just as the siren goes to end the period, Clark lets the shot go.
Well, Team Canada was very important. They got that third goal with less than 3 minutes remaining in the period. That gives them the 2-goal cushion that they need going into the room. But a very good goal, very important goal for Team Canada heading into this third period.
Shots on goal in that second period. The Soviets had 8 and Team Canada had 10. Canada 3 and the Soviets 1. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. And the puck is dropped and the third period is underway. Kapustin, watched by Barber, drops it back to Vasiliev inside his own line. A late pass again for Kapustin. Kapustin circling in on the right side, right in on goal, and it just trickles by the open side as Vachon got a piece of it. Back comes Canada. Orr to Clark. Clark circling inside his own line. Watched by Alexander Maltsev. Clark dumps it into the corner, a race for it, and back for it is Bill Barber, who beats Vasiliev. Barber and Vasiliev collide. Barber comes up with the puck, but has trouble getting complete control of it as Vasiliev has him pinned long enough for a whistle.
Well, there was no mystery on the Soviet play. Breaking in quickly was Kapustin. He really didn't make much of a move. He just took the puck, went to the outside, turned on the Jets. Quick shot, oh, just rolling wide of the post. The Soviets almost back in the hockey game, coming to within a goal, but Canada's still able to hold that 2-goal lead. But a good burst of speed by Kapustin.
32 seconds remaining in the minor penalties to Sittler and Kovin. The face-off will be to the right of Vladislav Tretiak. He's been in goal for all Soviet games in the Canada Cup competition. Czechoslovakia defeating the Soviets 5-2. Then the Soviets tied Sweden 3-3. They defeated Finland 11-3 and defeated the United States 5-0. Tretiak went into tonight's game with 96 straight minutes of shutout hockey, including his victory over the United States in his last outing. But he trails in this game. Canada leads the Soviet Union by a score of 3-1. And we have played 53 seconds here in the third period. Back come Team Canada. Dennis Potvin at his own line. Dumps it to Peter Mahavlich on the left. Mahavlich, number 20, drops it in front. Here's a shot. And Guy Lafleur, that one sailing through the crease. Potvin at the line into Peter Mahavlich. Mahavlich overskated it. It comes in front. And back come the Soviets, led by Zhlukov. Tries to get it over to Kovin as both teams are back at full strength. Zhlukov, number 22, a backhand shot, and that's way off the target. Gusev keeps it in for the Soviets. Into the corner. Puck hits Guy Lafleur, and back come Canada, led by Dennis Potvin. Potvin checked by Zhlukov, gives it to Shutt. Shutt's long shot away wide. And here's Alexandrov, racing down the left side, squeezed out of the play by Guy Lafleur. And Mahavlich has it for Canada. Mahavlich just dumps it right in on goal. Tretiak takes the bouncing puck. Leaves it for Luchenko. Back come the Soviets. Luchenko to Alexandrov. Alexandrov in over the line. Watched by Perot into the corner. Takes a check. Puck goes loose. Here's a chance for Zlukov in front. Back to Gusev. And it's knocked down by Bobby Orr. Ahead to Perot. Perot overskates it. Orr carries on. Orr watched by Zlukov. Takes it off the boards. Gusev runs into him. Orr takes it behind the net. Still has the puck. Tries to get it in front. Taken by Perot. Here's Hull. And Tretiak stopped that beyond shot. And it goes wide. Babanov had trouble getting it out, but comes up with it. Babanov, a long pass. Here's a chance for the Soviets, led by Kovin, in over the line. Taking the pass, Lebedev, his shot, rebound, stopped by Vashon. There's a shot by Balderas, goes wide. As the Soviets start to put on the pressure now, and we get a face-off in the Team Canada zone. We played 2 minutes and 45 seconds here in the third period. Canada 3 and the Soviet Union 1. From the face-off, Lebedev runs into LaPointe. Bob Gainey carries on for Canada. Down the ice it goes, and Canada will be called back for icing as it crosses the red line. Team Canada, of course, they have lost one game in the Canada Cup competition. That was the 1-0 loss to Czechoslovakia. Earlier, they defeated Sweden 4-0, the United States 4-2, and they defeated Finland 11-2. Go Canada, go! The chant here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. On the face-off, pass in front. We played exactly 3 minutes here in the third period. Both teams are at full strength. Gainey racing after the puck, gets it to Shutt, and Babanov. Babanov out on the right side to Lebedev. Lebedev in over the line for the Soviets. Gets it back to the point, comes to the blue line, but not out. Soviets right in front. Balderas runs into Sittler, and Lanny McDonald takes it for Canada. And he steers it down the ice. Canada 3, the Soviet Union 1. Babanov backboard, it's icing against Team Canada. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. We played 3 minutes and 30 seconds here in the third period. Canada 3 and the Soviet Union 1. Larry Robinson behind his own goal, watched by Maltsev. Gives it to Leach to Clark. Clark at center. Had it just slap away from his stick, and back come the Soviets. Inside their own blue line, Vasiliev, number 6, watched by Leach. Clears it out to Maltsev. He has trouble with it, tied up by Leach. And it's out to Kapustin, number 8. Kapustin's pass knocked down by Bobby Orr. Orr ahead to Barber. Barber slaps it off the boards, goes around to the other side to Bobby Clark. Clark in turn clears it to Reggie Leach, who takes a check. Here's a chance for Robinson. He steers it into the corner. Vasiliev overskated it, and it's Leach right in front and intercepted by Repniev. Back come the Soviets. Pass on the left side for Maltsev, and Orr's there to intercept and take it behind his own net. Barber. He runs into Repniev, but Orr carries on. Orr to center ice for Canada. Off the glass, in behind the Soviet goal. 5 minutes and 27 seconds remain in the first 10-minute session here in the third period as Maltsev comes back for the Soviets. That pass is headed for Kapustin. Guy Lafleur back for Canada. Lafleur, number 10, gets it in front, gets the pass again over on the far side, and Alexandrov has Potvin tied up. Peter Mahovlich carries on. Mahovlich watched by Billy Letinov. Has him tied up. Puck goes loose. Potvin in to help out. Gives it to Lafleur. Lafleur at the side of the goal. Dumps it back. Mahovlich shot. Stopped in front. Loose puck. Oh, and Tretiak robs Guy Lafleur from close range. Lafleur with Maltsev. Taken by Vasiliev. Vasiliev of the Soviet Union with Lafleur checking him. Canada 3, the Soviet Union 1. Pass on this side, coming back, Zlukov. Zlukov in over the Canadian line, into the corner, he's squeezed out of the play. Guy Lafleur comes back now for Canada. Ahead to Peter Mahovlich. Mahovlich had his pass knocked off Luchenko, but Lafleur clears it in. Gusev knocks it down with his glove. Vikulov, number 18 for the Soviets. Sees Hull coming, lets the puck go. Gilbert Perreault in over the opposing line with Hull. Hull takes the pass and then has trouble controlling it. Puck's loose in the corner. Bobby Hull, watched by Gusev. Gets the pass out in front, and it's loose. Back comes Vikulov. Vikulov in over the line for the Soviets with Alexandrov. Hull intercepts. And Team Canada up with it again. Perreault couldn't reach that pass, and down the ice it goes. And Team Canada called for icing. That's the 7th time in the game that Canada's been called for icing, and the Soviets have been called for icing only once, and that was back in the first period.
Well, Scotty Bowman is moving his centers around a little bit. He's had Gilles Perreault play a few times tonight with Bobby Hull, and that combination has looked very good. Moving Hull away from Phil Esposito. He's still using Esposito, but using Perreault with Hull, that group has played very, very well together.
And we played 6 minutes and 9 seconds here in the third period. They'll switch ends when they reach the 10-minute mark, of course. Face-off is to the left of Bogey Vachon. He has appeared in all Canada Cup games for Canada. This is his 5th game, and heading into the game tonight, he had a goals against average of 1.25 and has allowed just 1 goal up to this point. Referee and the 2 linesmen, all from the United States. Jim Nagels is the referee. He's a part-time referee, but a full-time golf pro in the U.S. Puck is cleared to center ice. Marcel Dion to Bobby Hull, knocked down by Bobanov. Bobanov out to center, and back comes Balderas for the Soviets. Long shot, and Vachon stops that. Serge Savard lost it in front. Here's a chance for the Soviets as they go behind the Team Canada goal right in front, and Kovin just couldn't reach it as Lebedev set him up. Hull intercepts, and down the ice it goes. And the official claims Bobanov could have played the puck, so there's no icing. Perreault and Bobanov collide. Kovin, number 12 for the Soviets, runs into Hull, gets the pass to Lebedev. Lebedev now watched by Hull, circles around inside his own blue line. Hull takes it away. Bobby Hull right in on goal. And he couldn't handle the puck at the last moment as he had Perreault and Dion moving in front. Gilbert Perreault with Vladimir Kovin. Kovin's up with the puck to his own line. Back pass. Balderas, number 19, and it's called on the 2-line offside, and the face-off will come back inside the Soviet blue line. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. Bernie Pascal and Tom Watt back at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. You'll hear the crowd here at the Gardens, a capacity crowd. 2 minutes and 50 seconds remain to be played here in the first 10 minutes of the third period. Back comes Maltsev. In over the line to Repniev. Vin Prine and Kapustin fail to reach that. Lanny McDonald collides with the Soviet player. Puck goes loose. Potvin goes in to help out. Along with Repniev. Pass in front, a shot. That hits Bob Gainey and goes to the other side. Sittler ahead to Gainey at his own blue line. He clears it down the ice. And going back for it, Billy Letinov. Watched by Sittler. Intended for Kapustin. And it's taken by the Soviet player, Yuri Repniev. Back come the Soviets. Kapustin takes a check from Sittler. Carries on a backhand shot. And Bogey Vachon got that on his pad and stopped it. Kept in though. Vasiliev lets one fly. And that's off the target. Over the net. Lanny McDonald out to center. And Vasiliev has it go off his stick. A race for it. Gainey leaves it at the line. McDonald takes a jolt. Puck goes in behind the Soviet goal. Bobby Clark. Or shot, and that's wide. Clark goes after the puck, watched by Vasiliev, and they hold it there momentarily. Clark gets it away. Vasiliev persistent, trying to get the face-off. Barber's in to help out. And now Billy Letinov lost it. Here's Clark at the side. Bobby Clark circling around the side of the Soviet goal, watched by Vasiliev. Knocked down, puck goes loose. Vasiliev finally comes up with the puck, then had it slapped off his stick. Bill Barber, number 17. To Bobby Clark. Leach and Repniev were tied up in front of the net. Billy Letinov, long pass on the right side from Maltsev. Race for it. Robinson back, and it's icing against the Soviet Union.
Well, Bobby Clark making some very good plays here, and he does what he does well. He won't throw that puck away in the offensive zone. He won't dump it blindly in front of the net. Here's Leach fighting with Repniev in front of the net. But Bobby Clark continues to go behind the net, won't throw it blind in front of the net, tries to get the good opportunity rather than just dumping it with a hopeful pass and having the puck come out of the offensive zone. But Bobby Clark showing some discipline. Reggie Leach trying to jockey for position in front of the net.
All set now for the face-off. Peter Mahovlich into the face-off circle. He gets the draw, goes after the puck with Luchenko, takes it behind the net. Youssef has him tied up. Mahovlich still trying to get it. Orr goes in to help out. It hits the official, and we have less than a minute to go in the first 10 minutes of the third period. Back come the Soviets, led by Alexandrov, in over the line, and Guy Lafleur breaks it up and clears it out. Luchenko at center. Vikulov. Lutov over to Luchenko, in over the line, and the Soviets are offside. Alexandrov was pinned inside the blue line. 38 seconds remaining in the first 10 minutes now of the third period. Balderas lost it, and Peter Mohavlich just scoops it back into the Soviet zone. Babanov, as Steve Shutt is knocked down inside the line by Krikinov, and there'll be a penalty as Shutt was breaking for the goal, and a Soviet penalty coming up.
Well, that was a very dumb penalty to take at this point in the hockey game, but Vikulov was interfering with Steve Shutt, who was moving, trying to forecheck on Babanov. Here he is moving into the play, but Vikulov just screened him out, tried to get in his way. Krikinov trying to get in his way, screened him off, and it's really an interference call, but not a very smart penalty to take at this point in the hockey game.
Here's the announcement at the Gardens.
At 9 minutes 34 seconds.
Krikinov for interference at 9:34. And we'll get another look at the Team Canada power play situation. And at center now is Phil Esposito. On the right side, Guy Lafleur. Bobby Hull on the left side. Orr and Potvin on defense. Esposito getting ready for this face-off. And the Soviets a man short. Vladimir Kobe, number 12, will take the draw against Esposito to the left of Vladislav Tretiak. Back to Orr. Orr into Guy Lafleur. Lafleur returns the pass to Orr. Watched by Kobe, gets it to Esposito, and it hits Bobby Hull's skate and goes off to the corner. Potvin keeps it in. Lafleur gets a piece of it. 10 seconds remaining. Off the boards, Esposito. Number 7, behind the net to Lafleur, tries to get it in front, tied up by Vasiliev with 3 seconds. Vasiliev and Guy Lafleur as the buzzer and the bell sound to end the first 10 minutes of the third period. And a reminder, this is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. Welcome back to Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Bernie Pascal along with Tom Watt. It's Canada 3 and the Soviet Union 1. Play underway, the final 10 minutes of the game. Bobby Orr, as Team Canada is on the power play. Krikinov has a minute and 25 seconds remaining in his minor penalty. The Soviets with Balderas, number 19, a long shot, hits the glass, deflects all the way back to center ice. Vasiliev, number 6, for the Soviets, ahead to Balderas. Balderas inside his own line, Esposito checking him. Puck comes to Guy Lafleur. Lafleur at his own blue line to center. To Bobby Orr. Orr takes the pass, knocked off his stick by Balderas, and Orr has it again. Orr to Bobby Hull, in over the line, stopped by Cobain. Orr carries on, Hull keeps it in. The dog just slipped outside the blue line as the linesman called it on the far side, with 52 seconds remaining in the penalty to Krikinov. And shots on goal so far here in the third period. The Soviets have outshot Canada 5-4. And in the game, Canada holds an edge 32-25. The Soviets definitely very much in it here, although they trail 3-1 with 9 minutes and 18 seconds left to play in the game. The winner of this game will go on to play Czechoslovakia in the best-of-3 final for the Canada Cup, and all games will be televised live on CTV. Inside the Soviet line, Gusev steers it all the way down the ice. Dennis Potvin back for it. Krikinov has 35 seconds remaining in his minor penalty. Potvin behind his own goal. Comes up with the puck to his own blue line. Reg Leach breaking at the line, takes the pass, in over the line, but it comes outside, and Barber brought it in, and thus the offside.
Well, that's the second very close play at the Soviet blue line. Team Canada just come within an inch of gaining possession of that puck inside the Soviet zone, and that's what they have to do to take advantage of this power play situation. So far, they haven't been able to control the puck inside the Soviet blue line.
8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining as Leach takes the pass off the boards behind the Soviet goal. Barber, watched by Luchenko. Leaves it there, gets it again. Barber back to Lapointe. Lapointe shot. Tretiak stops it with Gusev and Clark fighting for possession in front. 8 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the game, and 10 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Krikyanov of the Soviet Union. There you see the clock, high above center ice here at Maple Leaf Gardens. And the face-off will shift down to the left of Vladislav Tretiak in goal for the Soviet Union tonight.
Bill Barber indicating here to his defenseman that there's only 10 seconds left. They don't want the Soviet player to jump out of the box behind them and get the good breakaway.
Back to the line, LaPointe shot, deflects in front, and Tretiak stops it. In behind the goal, Bobby Clark. Owen Leach almost was set up in front, but the Soviet player clears it all the way down the ice just as Krikyanov returns from serving that penalty.
That's exactly what they tried to do. They were waiting for the player to jump out of the box. As soon as they got possession of the puck in their own zone, they just threw the puck out down the ice, and the Soviet player coming out of the box almost had the breakaway.
They'll take that face-off again to the left of Tretiak as we look at Guy Lapointe at the Team Canada bench. Darryl Sittler, the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And he'll be at another training camp along with the rest of the players as NHL and WHA teams open their training camp next week. Shot on goal. Tretiak steers it off. Bob Gainey gets a shot. Here's Sittler in front. Oh, and Tretiak robbed Darryl Sittler from right in front of the goal. Canada 3, the Soviets 1. Back comes Kapustin. And over the line, his shot. And it deflects off Lanny McDonald. Kapustin broke his stick, runs into Bobby Orr. In front, back comes Canada. Sittler, a long pass for Gainey, too far. And Vasiliev to Maltsev, right to Larry Robinson. Robinson in over the line for Canada. At the side of the net, his hook from behind taken out of the play. And it down the ice to Bobby Orr. Orr keeps it at the line, though. His shot hits Larry Robinson. Orr gets it again. Right in front, oh, the deflection, and Tretiak stops that. With Darryl Sittler racing in, but he lost his stick.
Well, Darryl Sittler in frustration just punched the boards with his fist after he dropped the stick, but he was in very good position. The Team Canada defensemen are keeping that puck low, getting the puck on the net so that the forwards are in good position to tip the puck home. Here he is getting the first one, trying to get it over Tretiak. Tretiak making a very good stop. But the Team Canada defensemen doing a good job keeping that puck low. The forwards are moving in front. The Soviet defenders are guilty of not tying up their sticks, and they're getting some very good deflections, good opportunities around the Soviet net.
Vladislav Tretiak certainly hasn't lost any of his expertise in that net. 2 key saves here in the third period with 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, and Canada kept in there by Guy Lafleur. Back for it now, Krikyanov. Krikyanov to Bobanov. Intercepted, a pass in front. Back to Guy Lapointe. Lapointe inside the line, lets one fly, and that's kicked out. Mahavlich has the backhander to Lafleur, and Tretiak reaches and gloves that.
While Team Canada controlling the puck, throwing the puck around very, very well, not throwing the puck blindly away. Here we have Guy Lafleur taking it first of all, then Big Peter taking his time back to Lafleur. The shot from a bad angle, but Tretiak holds on to it for the draw. But Team Canada controlling the puck inside the Soviet line.
7 minutes and 11 seconds remain here in the hockey game. Canada 3, the Soviet Union 1. Both teams are at full strength. Puck is taken by Shutt. Tretiak stops that. Bobanov for the Soviets. Can't get it out. Peter Mahavlich stops him, but then he gets it to center ice. Balderas clears it into the Canada zone. Lapointe off the board. Bobanov has it at center ice. Bobanov to Balderas. In over the line. Checked by Potvin. And Lebedev, number 21 for the Soviets. Gets by Peter Mahavlich. Takes it inside the line. His shot. And that's way wide of the net. Kept in, though, by Krikyanov. And then outside the line. And it's offside at the Team Canada line.
Lebedev has played a very good game since he was moved on the line. He originally didn't start the game, but he showed a little burst of speed there. Put the puck through the Team Canada defender's legs and had a very good opportunity on the goal.
Gilbert Perreault, number 11, out there for Team Canada. Of course, a member of the NHL Buffalo Sabres. And he'll take this face-off against Zlukov. Zlukov, 6'3", 196 pounds. And he's just 22 years of age. He's a Soviet player of the future to watch. Bobby Hall winds up. In over the line, a shot. And that hit the defenseman sticks Luchenko. Kept in by Marcel Dion to Perreault. Perreault out there with Bobby Hall and Marcel Dion. gets it into the corner to Hull. Hull's watched by Gusev, tries to dump it in front. Gusev is successful in getting it over, but Dion is there. Marcel Dion right in front, and Perreault couldn't get that. Kept inside there by Bobby Hull as he slaps at it. Perreault behind the Soviet goal. Perreault to Orr, and Orr is knocked flat in front of the net. And back come the Soviets, led by Alexandrov. Alexandrov in over the line, dumps it right to the stick of Bobby Hull, who in turn clears it down the ice, and Canada will be called on the icing.
Well, you have to do all the good things defensively here now. Team Canada ahead by 2 goals with 5 minutes and 46 seconds remaining.
This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. Back at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto with 5 minutes and 46 seconds remaining. Of course, at the conclusion of the game tonight, Al McCann and Eddie Westfall will have interviews and analysis of tonight's game. Barber on the far side, number 17, tries to get it out. And Team Canada leading the Soviets 3-1. At center ice, puck is taken momentarily by Repniev, but Lapointe feeds Barber. Barber off the boards and behind the Soviet goal. Leach keeps it in. Leach in the corner, misses a check, gets the puck again, and Kapustin will try it for the Soviets. Down the left side, Kapustin to Repniev, drops it back. Balderas moving in front. Rather, Maltsev, number 10, checked by Clark, and Vachon comes out to make the save as the shot is on goal.
Soviet players get a little frustrated, banging their sticks on the ice, just failing to come to get a good opportunity on the net, getting the shot from the bad angle, but they thought they should have had a better opportunity on Team Canada net. But Team Canada's back checking very, very hard.
And we have 5 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the third period and the game. Face-off, Repniev against Bobby Clark. Potvin off the boards on the far side to Barber. Barber watched by Vasiliev, has the puck. Then Maltsev runs into him, and the puck goes out back into the Soviet goal. Leach left it there for Krikyanov. Krikyanov gets it outside the blue line, where Potvin just backhands it in. Repniev, number 24, gets by Leach. Back come the Soviets. Repniev in over the Team Canada line, drops it back to Kapustin, and a pad stop by Rogi Vachon. Vasiliev at center. 4 minutes and 39 seconds remain in the third period. Maltsev in over the Canada line. His fake shot, and gets by Leach. And Team Canada trying to get out. Clark will try this time, clears it up over the glass, and it's out of play.
Well, you have to do all the good things defensively, being ahead 2 goals with 4 minutes remaining. You dump that puck out of your own zone anytime you have the opportunity. You throw it in the opposition's end. You never get caught with 3 forwards all in forechecking. You make sure you've got somebody in a position to come back and back check. You don't stay out there too long so that you're too tired. All the good defensive things, trying to protect a 2-goal lead with less than 5 seconds. Here we have the skate save. Kapustin with a quick shot after the drop pass from his center.
And we have 4 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the third period. Off the glass, and Vachon had to be sharp on that. Cleared in front. Babanov inside the line. Off the boards to Lebedev. Back to Babanov, intercepted by Bob Gainey. Gainey feeds it to Lanny McDonald. Number 12 in on the right side. Steers it off into the corner. Babanov and McDonald hit hard. Puck is loose. Taken by Vasiliev to Balderas. Balderas ahead. This is Lebedev. Back for the Soviet Union at center. In over the Canada line. Tries to get by Canadian player Robinson, and Gainey breaks back. Gainey squeezed against the boards by Balderas. And back in behind the net, Babanov to Vasiliev. McDonald intercepts that pass right in front, and the rebound deflected in front, and Tretiak had to stop that. McDonald into Steve Shutt. Back to Orr. Orr inside the line, backhands it off the boards. In front, Sittler to Shutt. Oh, on the short side, Tretiak stopped him. The Soviets under pressure here. Balderas finally gets it to center ice. Robinson ran into his check, Lebedev. The Soviets carry on. Lebedev, again check. Here's Balderas right in front, and Bobby Orr stops him. Shutt on the far side, clears it to an open wing, back into the Soviet zone. Vasiliev, watched by Lafleur. Peter Mahovlin into the corner. There's a chance to Shutt, and it deflects off Vasiliev and goes wide. 2 minutes and 52 seconds remain. Guy Lafleur behind the Soviet goal. Babanov, and Lafleur touches it. And it's on the offside with the face-off coming outside the line.
Well, a smart play by Guy Lafleur. He didn't touch that puck. He waited for the Soviets because Bobby Orr had tipped it ahead to him with his glove. He waited, wanting the Soviet player to touch it. Here we have a crunching check by Larry Robinson. The Soviet player dropped it well so that we were able to get a shot. But Larry Robinson finishing off his checks, taking his man into the boards. Good defensive play.
And as Ron Andrews points out, Team Canada's first offside. Here's Gusev. Number 2 has it momentarily, gets it again on the left. Gusev coming up to center, long pass on the right side to Alexandrov. His shot hits Lapointe. Lafleur's there to pick it up, off the boards to Steve Shutt. 2 minutes and 29 seconds remain in the hockey game. Canada 3 and the Soviets 1. Soviets inside their own zone. Luchenko backhands it to center. And Potvin's out there, takes the pass. Potvin returns it to Lapointe, knocked down by Vikulov, ahead to Zhlukov, number 22. Soviets at their own line. Gusev with 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Canada 3, the Soviets 1. Luchenko to Alexandrov. Vikulov. Vikulov takes it into the corner by Lapointe, and Lafleur slaps it and gets by Gusev and goes all the way down the ice. And it's icing against Team Canada.
Well, still not a bad play at that point. The fans thought that the Soviet player had touched it, but they're able to get fresh troops out on the ice. And at this point in the hockey game with 1 minute and 49 seconds left and your team ahead 2 goals, rather than being out there too tired, it's a good defensive move to get that puck down the ice when you're a little disorganized.
1 minute and 49 seconds remain in the game, and of course, a lot of interest in this game in the Canada Cup Series. Tonight, for example, more than 100 TV stations on the PBS network in the United States are carrying the game. We certainly hope you enjoy it, and we hope you'll be with us through the best of 3 final, and that opens Monday night here at Maple Leaf Gardens. The winner of this game playing Czechoslovakia. Robinson on the far side just scoops it down the ice, a race for it. Krikyanov back for it, watched by Barber, gets it to Kapustin. 1 minute and 36 seconds remaining. Bobby Orr off the boards and into the Soviet zone. Barber and Kapustin after. Barber gets it momentarily, then is stopped. Repniev will try for the Soviets. Repniev lets it get ahead of him, and it's taken at center by Robinson. Off the boards again into the Soviet zone. Tretiak's there. 1 minute and 15 seconds remain. Canada 3 and the Soviets 1. Back comes Alexander Maltsev. In over the line, he's checked. And Bobby Orr breaks that up with Robinson helping. Vasiliev stopped by Lanny McDonald. 1 minute remaining now in the game. The Soviets on the attack, led by Repniev. In over the line, and McDonald clears it out to center to Darryl Sittler. Sittler watched by Vasiliev. In over the line, right in on goal, and then has it knocked off his stick by Krikyanov. 42 seconds remain. Repniev to Vasiliev. Canada 3, the Soviet Union 1. Kapustin at center. On the right side to Repniev. Repniev in over the line. He's stopped. And again, Team Canada with Bob Gainey coming back. Vasiliev runs into him. 24 seconds. Krikyanov inside his own blue line. Watched by Darryl Sittler. As the cheers come up here at Maple Leaf Gardens, many people are standing. 15 seconds remain. Everyone is standing. Canada 3, the Soviets 1. 8 seconds remaining in the game. Krikyanov in his own blue line, checked by McDonald. Bobby Orr, 1 second. There goes the bell. The game is over. Canada 3, the Soviet Union 1.
Messieurs l'hymne national du pays gagnant.
Canada, victorious tonight, defeating the Soviet Union 3-1. And everyone's still standing here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Canada advances into the final now against Czechoslovakia, and that final opens on Monday night.
What a series that's going to be. If we have hockey like we had the other night in the 1-0 loss to Czechoslovakia, no one's going to be disappointed.
Now we have the individual stars in the game to receive those Carling O'Keefe.
The awards are handcrafted stone carvings created by the Eskimos of Baffin Island.
And I see one of the presenters. Now just wait till you see who the presenter is and when he's introduced the ovation he gets here at Maple Leaf Garden.
Presenting the awards tonight, one of the greatest player our game has ever known, Mr. Gordie Howe.
There he is. Gordie Howe will make a presentation.
To present the Carling O'Keefe Award to the outstanding player of the Soviet Union team. Le meilleur joueur de l'équipe soviétique, number 10, Alexander Maltsev.
Alexander Maltsev, number 10, the top individual in the game for the Soviet Union. Not much argument there. He's the captain of this hockey club. Veteran performer.
Now the outstanding player of Team Canada. Le joueur par excellence de l'équipe Canada, Bobby Orr.
Shaking of hands at center ice. And what a game, what a night here at Maple Leaf Gardens, and more coming up on our CTV coverage. Reminder, this is Canada Cup 76 on CTV.